Hi, Colonel fans. I'm Dan McBride, welcoming you to another Colonelcast, your update on what's happening in EKU athletics. And it's that time of year. It's time to talk Colonel football. And we are joined by the head coach of the Colonels, Danny Hope. Coach, welcome back to the Colonelcast.
Thanks for having me on the show, Dan.
I know the weather is hot outside right now, but your team is back. You've started practices and looking forward to another big year.
We're really just getting started. We have 29 practices prior to our opening game against Kentucky, and we completed practice number 5, which is part of the acclimatization period. So we actually get into the 2-a-day, 1-a-day rotation starting tomorrow. So we still have a lot of practices to go. It's really hot, and we're spending a lot of time getting acclimated to the heat and getting ready for our first opponent.
Now, when you get started in these early practices, how much time do you spend just on regular football things before you specifically start looking at that first opponent?
Well, you know, we already have a lot of groundwork laid for the Kentucky game, and you introduce some things that your opening opponent would do. But you have to get the basic fundamentals in and the plays, the bulk and the base of your offenses and defenses and special teams in. So we'll sprinkle some in, but we have to get the backbone to all 3 phases of the game in first, and then we'll move on to preparation for our opening opponent.
And we might as well talk about the schedule because everybody's talking about the schedule, and obviously the big game, the first game at Kentucky, that's got to be something exciting for the players.
We've got a great schedule, and it's a lot of fun for our team and our staff and our fans. The schedule we have in place for 2000 season, particularly opening up with Kentucky at their place. It's a game we all worked really long and hard and hope to get in place, and really appreciate the opportunity to go up to Lexington and play the Wildcats at their place. It's great exposure for our team and our program. I can't believe how much more media we've already done up to this point in time compared to the last 4 or 5 years, and to be able to play those guys right here in our own backyard is really huge. So our team's excited about it, our fans are excited about it. It's really good for our program and all of football in the state of Kentucky.
Also, everybody who's a Colonel fan loves the Western game, and that'll be another big game this year. Again, we have to go on the road, but it'll be another game that a lot of fans will love to go to.
That's another game we can't wait to get here. We talk about that game year round. We opened up with the University of Kentucky. That's a dream come true for our team and our program to get to play those guys, and then play West Carolina here in our home opener at Roy Kidd Stadium. And they're a very good FCS opponent that we lost to last year. And our home openers are usually big, big tailgating wise. The students usually stick around, come out for that game. We have a great attendance usually at the home opener, and with it being West Carolina, I think we'll have a great crowd. And then we go down to Bowling Green and play Western Kentucky there, our arch rival and one of the oldest rivalries in the country, one of the most intense rivalries I've ever been around, and just a game that anybody that's a real Colonel gets excited about. So we've got a great non-conference schedule. It's a lot of fun for us, the fans, the players. Just the whole deal is great.
You mentioned the non-conference schedule. Obviously, the conference is very equal and a lot of I guess parity, for lack of a better word. There's a lot of good competition in the OVC. Yeah,
our conference has really improved a lot the last couple of years for a lot of different reasons, but the bottom line is the OVC has gotten better. We had 2 teams last year that got playoff bids, and that was the first time in I think over a decade that 2 teams from our conference were selected in the playoffs, and both teams that came right down to the last seconds of the game. Tennessee Martin's got a heck of a football team, competed in the first round against one of the strongest FCS opponents, and it came down I think to 40 seconds for them hanging on to a win. And East Illinois was very similar. There were 4 or 5 teams in the league last year that at the end of the season were all competing for a spot at the conference championship, and we had to play the bulk of those guys, and we won against a very strong conference schedule at the end of the season last year. So coming into the season, there are 4 or 5 teams that played well last year, all competed, all beat each other some, and all have a lot of players coming back. So it's a very strong year in our conference this year.
I know you have a new offensive coordinator. Linwood Ferguson joins your staff, and the thing that I guess most Colonel fans would ask is, will they notice a difference? Is it going to change the way you guys do things?
Well, I hope it does some, for the better, obviously. We've had a good offense the last 4 years. We've led our conference in total offense 3 of the last 4 years, which is a nice accolade. There's some areas we'd like to be able to tighten up in, and we hired Coach Ferguson. Coach Beathard left and went to the University of Illinois, and Kurt did a great job, and I really miss him, and he had a great opportunity and moved on, and we hired Coach Ferguson, and he comes in and inherits a lot of offense that's been in place for the last 3 or 4 years, and can really focus on some areas that we need to tighten up in. And I see us improving in those areas, and I think he's going to make an impact to our offense a bunch this year.
I know for a football team especially, nothing really helps more than having a big crowd there. And I know certainly when we want to encourage all Colonel fans, whether we're close to where they are, I know people all over the country will see this, but if we're close to where they are, come out. But especially the fans around Richmond really want to see them come out to Roy Kidd Stadium this year.
We've had really good attendance, in our home stadium the last several years, and some things have changed. Obviously tailgating has really picked up, and there's going to be live entertainment for the student body and the tailgate fans for every one of our home games, unless the weather was to be inclement, obviously. But we got plans to do that, and some of the big games we have several thousand tailgaters, and like I said, been a lot of places, and there's sometimes in the last couple of years where our tailgating has been as top of the line as any place in the country. And I really think the student body needs to get out and get involved with that, and they'll see one of the great college experiences happening right there underneath their feet, and they don't know about it. And then bring it on into the game and support the football team and raise Canaan Stadium with us. We have a good football team and some guys that really have a lot of pride in the program, and hope that the student body and the fans will come out and be part of it this year.
Well, I can feel the excitement building, and I know you're excited. I think everybody's ready to get going.
We're ready to get going. We still have some practice to go, and we have to get a lot better, but we've got a great group of guys out there, and we look forward to the kickoff.
All right, Coach, thanks for being with us. We look forward to football season.
Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, that's Coach Danny Hope talking about the upcoming EKU football season. Again, to get the complete schedule, you can always visit EKUsports.com. That'll be your update on all of the Colonel news. For the Colonel Cast, I'm Dan McBride. Thanks for watching, and go Colonels.